just went down to the store and got these big old blades. They are 18 teeth per inch. They're made for metal. It's a 5-pack of them. I'm $23 deep into those. So what my plan is I'm going to make this easy on the old man. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to reach in there and I'm going to cut that frame right down there. And I'm going to go on the other side and I'm going to do the same thing. We'll put a jack stand underneath on one side and we'll put a floor jack on the other side to push it up as we cut it down to create a V in it. And then once it's all apart, we'll push the two pieces apart and see what we got to do next. It should be easy peasy. But as of right now this morning, we are 2 hours worth of labor deep and $23 in material. So that is, 60 and 60 is 120 plus another 20, 40, $143 deep into our $500 budget. So here we go, guys. Stay tuned. Just up on the other side of that brace, straight down. Go on the other side and do the same thing. I'm gonna put a jack stand where the floor jack is. There's my jack stand there. We'll do the same thing on the other side. You might have just caught that as I was cutting, but so I've got it secured right there, and well, not secured, but I've got it sitting on the stand there, and same thing on the other side. But as I was cutting through the final side over here, rather than what I was anticipating was the weight of it here, I know those bumpers are pretty heavy, and I also thought maybe it might do this. So now I need to stick something back underneath here and support the back of it so that this thing all relaxes back onto the stands. And when I cut that last piece apart, what would happen is, I know because of the geometry of this front end, the front wheels are so close to the front, obviously it's not gonna, if I cut it in half right here, from here to here, it's gonna fall this way, right? When I'm cutting this one in half, and from here to here, it's falling this way. So what I need to do is I need to secure it up, or support it up here. Sorry about the heater. Support it up here, push this back down, push that back down, and then when I cut this should all stay there, and that should all stay there, rather than what would happen if I continued to cut it through right here. This one would continue to rise up, and then as I cut the last of it, this would fall completely this way onto the floor, and then this would go boom and slam back down onto my stands, which that's real unsafe for me, especially when I'm working right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a stand underneath it here and push it all back down, and then I'll finish cutting it. I am that close. There. Now, at least even if it's not pushed all the way back down, at least the weight's off of it and it'll kind of rest where it needs to rest. So follow me through here. Let's see. I get visitors from time to time. That was my boy asking if he could steal the rest of my Pringles. Hell no! The kids will eat every chip and every cookie in the house. Hide it. That's what we need. Okay, what else can I cut? Oh, looks like I got all the brake lines cut. I just need to cut that wiring for the taillights. That's what that is. The wiring for the taillights and then the e-brake cable. And then we should have 2 pieces of a Jeep. Alright, there she is. 2 pieces of a Comanche. It worked out pretty good actually. I just got a big old long honking blade and we just cut down both pieces all at the same time, supported it, and here we are. Now I can get this back cab corner and cut it off real easy. Don't gotta spend a bunch of hours and labor on taking that piece off of there, but my focus is gonna be from here on out. I'm another hour deep into this now. So that's 3 hours of our 8 and a half, something like that. So I got 5 more to go. So my plan is to figure out how to cap this off, cap that off, see if I can make a side fish plate or something, and then we'll start measuring to see if we can get an A-frame on this thing. Sooner I can get an A-frame on it, and the sooner we can concentrate on taking the rest of the bits off, see how much we can save. But as of right now, my focal point is making a trailer out of it as cheap as I can. So here we are. See if I can get some metal out and we'll fab some stuff up. Lo and behold, and luckily I had saved this, what was scrap. This is an old A-frame from an old utility trailer, and I had it and used it for a while, and then I cut it in half and took the axle and the rear section of the frame and used it underneath my family sleeper, my camp trailer for the Jeep. But I had the front and the A-frame here laying around in the back 40 forever, and because I had the Comanche here, I yanked it off the scrap pile, and here it is. I'm just gonna take and probably put a plate on this here frame on this side of it, and then I'll take a little material. I'll take a little material off the edge of this right here to compensate for the 3/16. So I'm gonna fully weld this cap all the way around, and then weld it to this one here, and then weld that one all the way around, and then weld this piece to that piece, and then we'll have a nice box here. And we'll have a nice box under here, and then we'll have some nice welds in here, and then I probably put a couple gussets, you know, on the sides of it to hold it all together, and that'll be plenty strong for this thing, because you know we all got to keep in mind that this isn't a 1-ton full-size frame that's underneath this thing. This thing was still a half-ton pickup, really. It's 1/4 ton actually. Dana 35. I think the leaf springs are rated at it's a Comanche, so I have to look at the chart, but I think 1,800 pounds. So, I mean, 2,000 pounds divided by both points behind the hitch. Yeah, you're not going to need more than what I'm going to put on there unless you completely overload it and start getting stupid with it. And if you do that, you should get a proper trailer with the proper axle and brakes and all that good stuff. That's not what this thing is going to be. So. Yep, that's my plan. I'm going to pull this all apart now that I know that it looks good, and then I'm going to find some cardboard for some templates, and then I'm going to get back in there and find some little scrap metals to make my plates out of. So, anyway, stay with us, guys. Alright, so I got me a triangle, a square. I got 2 different colors of markers, and my trusty dusty tape measure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this frame back, so instead of leaving it full length, I'm going to cut it back here somewhere, but I'm going to measure from this bend right here, and I'm going to go back maybe 6 or 8 inches, just depending on what it is. Then I'm going to match that up on the other side, cut that off, take the excess away, and then we'll start prepping this and lining all the plates up. But I want to start with this frame being it's all set up, and mark it before I take it down, and then we'll cut this, and then we'll prep the bed for what we're going to do. So what I did is I measured back from that cross member up this way to where I thought the bend started, when I ended up with 17.5. So then I came over here and I double checked to see if it lined up. 17.5 lined up the same kind of area and bend. It looks like it does. So I used that as my square point. So then I went 17.5, make a mark over there, 17.5, make a mark, and then I go from that mark, I went back 8 inches and made another mark. So that back 8 inches mark is going to be the mark that I cut this thing off of, so that I know that I'm from the bend to where my mark is. I've got 8 inches, which will be the 8 inches I need right over here to secure with that plate. So I'm not sure what my camera decided to do, but I used the Portaband. It's my favorite fabrication shop tool for a DIY guy. And I cut back where I needed to cut back, and all this stuff fell on the floor, and had I not been standing back, my toes would have got it good. So anyway, I've got this all cut now, and I'm gonna shove it in there and see what it looks like, make sure I'm all good, and then we'll start prepping. Okay, so I dug around out in the scrap bin and I found some 1/4 inch flat stock, and then I found some 1/4 inch, yeah, that's 1/4 inch plate. So what I'm gonna do, and so I took measurement here, and I've got 7.5. This plate will cover this just fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I'm going to make a plate like that, and then I'm going to use this stock here for my side plates. And what I noticed is that on the frame, the leaf spring pockets have some extra material here. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, I have plenty on top and I have plenty on bottom. So when I measure this from here to here, I'm at about 5.5. So I'm going to cut a 5.5 inch plate by 8. So if I need a 5.5 by 8 is what I need, and just lo and behold, I've got 8, and I've got just a CH under 11. So what I need to do is I need to lop this tongue off right here, and then I need to cut this piece right down the middle, and then this will be the one side, that'll be the other, and then I just need to take the Portaband and just start cutting the pieces that I need out of this flat stock. And that'll take me just a couple minutes to measure this up, so stay with me, guys. notice is an old carpenter trick. If you put a line, put an X on the side of the line that you want the material to be that size, and also mark it for the blade. So if you put the blade on this side of the line, on the X side of that line, then from here to this side of the line will be the measurement that you're looking for, because you can be off the width of the line and the end of your tape measure and have a little jiggle to it. That right there can be, you know, a 30-second, and the other one can be a 30-second. You're off by a 30-second with your eye. That's almost an eighth of an inch. That's 3/16 just right there. So just a little carpenter trick. Put an X on the side of the mark, pull your tape measure tight. If you butt it here, butt it there, pull it, keeps everything square. And now I can take, because I know this is going to be the excess piece, I can just measure and it'll tell me what this size is going to be, and then I can just hold this up and see if I can use that piece of scrap for anything before I make marks on something bigger that I might not need to make scrap out of. I'm going to cut a plate for there. I'm going to cut that plate for over here. I'm going to prepare everything. I need to take a 1/4 inch off of this C channel from there to there. I'll make a mark on that before I take it off. Take that off with the grinder on, you know, all 4 parts of the C right here on the ends, and then weld the rooski. Alright, so you've seen me mark these, so now I got them knocked back a little bit, by about 1/4 inch. Now they don't have to be perfect or nothing, because the welder's going to take care of everything else. So I have front cap welded on. I have the side plate done. Same thing on this side. I got the front cap and I got the side plate. So I'm just gonna run the, actually that feels pretty good. I don't even think I'm gonna have to run the grinder on that. That's okay. That side's okay too. So yeah, I'm gonna get this thing up and pump this tire up over here, make sure everything's all nice and level, put the level on it, slide this thing on here, and we'll get her welded together. So you see me notching the A-frame a minute ago. So I was notching it right here so that way it would fit, because I added a 1/4 inch on this side and a 1/4 inch on that side, so it added a 1/2 inch overall. So I trimmed the C channel down on my existing A-frame, so I trimmed it right here, and I trimmed it down on the bottom so it fit in there nice. And so you can see the plate, I got the plate welded in. I got it stitched all the way around on the back too. That one all the way around. Front plate's on. And same thing on that side. I get it all the way, welded all the way around. So what I'm going to do is, you want to check this thing for level and you want to check it for square. So I'm going to go diagonally check it for square. So this is the factory body mount. So I'm going to find a same location here and here, symmetrical location side to side, and then I'm going to go from here, you know, somewhere in here, and I'm going to measure up to a center point on the hitch, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and then I'm going to adjust that until I get that measurement within a 1/16 of an inch. If I'm within a 1/16 of an inch, I'm okay. If I'm outside of that, that means that I'm going to be this way or this way, one way or the other. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a I'm going to put a level on the top of this and level it out. Then I'll put a level on it this way. And then I'll also put a level on it this way and that way. And I'll put one right in the middle so it'll get checked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, between 7, 8, and maybe 9 times. I'm going to check it for level, and I'm going to get it all locked into place, tack it in, double check it, and weld it home. So right now I have 4 hours today. I have another hour cutting it, so that's 5. My old man put 2 hours in cutting the cab corners off, so that's 7 hours. I've got $23 worth of blades and another probably $70 worth of material. So I'm real close to my $500 threshold. If I sat down and did the math right now, I'd probably be right there. But we're also right there with the project, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it out. It's going to take me maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then I'm going to call it that and contact the client and find out whether we want to go any further with it. But it will be ready to go down the road, except for maybe some maintenance and a couple other knick-knack things because I used some scrap parts, so we'll want to put some good parts on it. But we'll be real close to that $500 threshold, guys, so just stay with me.